All right, Brittany and this man. I do not like I don't get Brittany. It's like the same factor with Amanda and with Summer House where it's like you traded in one loser bum, that's gonna make you feel bad about yourself for another. Like he was treating her like she ought to be
Weird.
glad that he was even helping her. It was just so weird.
It was weird. And then, oh, we talked about how Danny drinking the White Claw in the
The
gym.
chili. That's where we left off. The damn chili. Listen, I love chili like
Oh yeah,
probably more than I
the
should.
chili.
Okay. I love chili. But yeah, if I'm
I
having
love
stomach
chili.
issues, I don't want anybody to bring me chili. And you're definitely supposed to
I mean,
avoid
I
like
guess it makes sense. You might have to like poop or something, and then that's a strain on your stomach muscle.
no, it's not even that. It's when you have abdominal surgery,
That would be
they
my issue.
really try to avoid you from having gas as much as possible because it's extremely
Well, that's what I
uncomfortable.
mean.
Yeah, so it's like, well, I'm just
Like,
saying because you
beans
said
move you. So when you have to push a bowel out, it's like you could like rip
no,
it
but
or
that's what I'm
something. I don't know.
saying. It's not about the poop. It's like, yeah, the poop is part of it, sure. But I'm saying, like, generally speaking, after abdominal surgery, the instruction they give you is to avoid like gassy things, not even just because of the pooping, but
Mhm.
because, like, if you already have two drains there and you get gas and you get bloating and you have stitches and things like that,
Mm.
it's just not a great situation. But Brittany said she was going to eat it later. She's probably just being nice. And it was probably like, girl, put that in the freezer for when I'm better. I'm just saying, if I have surgery and in my stomach, please just bring me chicken noodle and something bland. That's all I'm saying. Um,
Can we talk about Nia and bringing that damn baby everywhere? I've never had beef
well,
with the
wait,
baby before like
back
this.
to the White Claw. Back to the White Claw. So
Oh, yes. Ugh.
Jasmine's over because Brittany also is planning Jasmine's engagement party for her and her
Oh, yeah.
fiance. So they go over to discuss that, and Jasmine's really blown away with the effort that Brittany's putting into this party, just because she's had kind of a tough time with the group of friends lately, specifically with Kristen and Zack, and just not really feeling heard. And that's one thing I'll give Brittany is if she likes you and if she really does consider you a friend, like that's one thing Zack says about her constantly is how much she loves up on her friends and how much she'll go the extra mile for you. So Jasmine's there. They're, talking about the engagement party. Jasmine goes to put the chili away because Brittany has an upstairs refrigerator. Convenience, love it. When she goes to put and it's just like this is why people say reality TV is scripted because when she goes to put the chili away, she just happens to see that there's an empty White Claw can in
No, she
Brittany.
just happens to go into the ensuite bathroom because the fridge was not in the restroom. So why she needed to go in the restroom, we don't know.
We don't know. But she
I loved
did.
it. I loved it.
She did. And she finds this White Claw, empty White Claw. And she's like, oh, what is this? And Brittany's like, I don't know. I don't even drink White Claw. So it's not mine. I don't
I
know
don't
whose
even
it
drink
could
White
be.
Claws. Wait, I thought it was Brandon's. I don't know why. Maybe because I think he's the villain. I was like, oh, of course that loser is in the gym drinking. But of
Oh,
course it's Danny, who loves a secret drink.
I just kind of figured Brittany has friends and stuff over all the time. Like God knows whose it was.
Mm-hmm.
But they, the producers let us know and they give us a flashback. And the girls say that, Brittany had a get together and everybody was there, including Danny Darko. And that what checks out is that Danny was doing what he always does and hid off somewhere like a toddler taking a poop in a corner and had a White Claw. Um, to hide from his wife again. And so Nia is pointing at everyone else's drinking and pointing out that if her husband has an issue with drinking, everybody in the group has an issue with drinking. Nia, that might be true. That doesn't negate the fact that your husband's weird when he's drinking.
And he likes to drink in a closet or in secret. He's okay. I'm going to fast forward a bit, but it's on the same thing. Why was he making such a point to say, "Oh, this is my seventh glass of water"? It was probably tequila and water. I know a ranch water when I see one. I don't trust him.
He's just so weird. And the fact that they both just jeeve me out. Like, there's just something about their dynamic, and again, the trad wife dresses and how we have to
I was
constantly
gonna say
keep
her
hearing
outfits are
about his
starting to now wear on me.
vasectomy, her weird hairstyles. It's just like
Oh my
they
god,
make
her
my
hair is so
skin weird.
juvenile.
Yeah.
And that baby she's toting around everywhere. I'm enough. I'm sick of
Yeah,
it.
because
It's too much.
she goes to lunch with Michelle, and
No, they went and got coffee. She
oh,
drove
there
an
you go.
hour and a half to get coffee. And where that coffee shop is, because I've walked past it on my way to go drop off jewelry at Tiffany's, it's in a hellish area. Like there's no real parking structure around. Get them off my screen. I'm done. I've seen
Well,
what
it
I
was
needed to see.
clearly like some
Enough.
kind of plug. I don't know if the producers knew the coffee shop owner, because it was weird too how they
Because
were like, "This is what we're
the way
known
a man,
for."
I mean, she's like, it's like da da da, but it's owned by Armenians. I was like, what does that have to do with the price of tea? And I know who's owned by.
Yeah, but even like when
Wait,
they
what?
went to go order and the girl was like, "Oh, well, we're known for X, Y, and Z." I don't know. I'm just not used to seeing like when anyone goes to
It was
film
clearly a
somewhere.
commercial.
Yeah, it was weird. But I mean, they go have coffee or whatever it was, and they sit down and have girl talk. And yes, Nia brought that baby. Um, and Nia brings up again Danny's drinking. And Michelle just makes the correlation that, it does seem like there's a weird dynamic in their marriage when it comes to his drinking, and that clearly, she's like, I experienced similar things in my marriage where you just kind of sweep it under the rug, but you know that it's an underlying issue that you're both choosing not to talk about. And I mean, that's clearly what's going on. I mean, at the housewarming, you got him sneaking off and having a drink as well, which was weird because it's again, you're
He's
playing in people's faces, because at this point, you're literally going around saying, I don't have an issue. I don't have an issue. Then why do you hide? Why do you hide? And then he's going to go on the defense and say, well, I
thank
hide
you.
because everyone says I have an issue.
So if everyone, as the great Heather Dubrow once said, if everyone says you're dead, it's time to lie down.
Well, I mean, also Jesse is messy as hell because he goes to dinner with Zack and Jasmine.
Wait, no, can we talk about where they went? I hate this bar so much. It is so funny that they went there because I've gone to this bar, I think only once. I think I saw what I needed to see once and I never have gone back. But it is filled with like, I think the oldest person has to be like 26 years old. It is just like the youngest, like 21 to 26. And it was so weird seeing them at this random ass bar. I was like, they must really have a hard time getting cool places to film because why are you at the Vic or the Vig or whatever the fuck it's called? It was just so I was just like, ugh. And maybe not even want to watch the scene, but go on.
Well, yeah, I think you have to have all that back because I mean, to me, it was just, I mean, I
Yeah,
think to
I
the
mean,
average
it
viewer, it
actually
was just
looked
a
fine.
scene. Yeah.
It was fine, but I was just saying, like, this is the most random baby bar ever. That it was so funny. These grown ass people are at this like bar with like a bunch of 20-year-olds.
Yeah. Well, they go, at any rate, they sit down to have a drink, I guess. And first of all, Jasmine brings up again to Zack. She already had a conversation with Kristen, but then she has a conversation with Zack, just reiterating the fact that, again, she felt blown off by him. when it came to being heard about how Danny had treated her and her fiance Melissa in the past. But when Lala mentioned it, it seemed like everybody jumped to evaluate the situation, and she felt hurt because Zack is her very best friend. I mean, they used to be roommates, and Zack felt like he had her back, but he also understood that, like, in her opinion, he didn't, and that's really what matters. So he did point out all the ways that he felt like he did, but eventually they concede and they go, what else? Let's get back to the Danny and drinking thing though. And they start to talk like how everybody else is talking about how what they noticed in San Diego and how they noticed that Nia makes excuses for him. Jesse sat there this entire time though and said nothing. He didn't add to the conversation, but he also didn't stick up for Danny in the moment. He sat there and said nothing. So imagine my surprise when at the end of the episode, and we'll get back to the housewarming, but at the end of the episode, when he meets up with Danny and Schwartz, and then Schwartz lets us know he's dating that child seriously. Um, he meets up with Danny and Schwartz, and he's like, yeah, well, Danny, I don't think you have an issue, brother. I think you're just fine with your drinking. If you've got an issue, I've got an issue. You said it, not us, Jesse, but I'll
Yeah, you
continue.
do.
Like, you
You
said it,
do.
not us. If you got
Yeah,
an issue,
that's
I
what
got
we're
an
saying.
issue. And so he goes on to say, everybody's talking about your drinking again. I go out to dinner with Zack and Jasmine the other night. They're bringing it up. And frankly, I'm sick of it. And Schwartz is like, yeah, man, I've gone out to eat with you several times, seen you drinking. Don't necessarily think you got a problem. So then Jesse, like a messy bitch, goes, yeah, and, well, because Danny brings up the fact that, this all goes back to Jax and the fact that Jack said he was going to take him down. And Jesse goes, yeah, well, who stood
It's
by with
very
that
the
plan?
DeBros.
He goes, who stood by with that plan? Brittany. And everybody, these three stooges look at each other like, oh my God, that's it. That's the culprit. And
It
these three
was
bad
so
bitches
stupid.
these three bad bitches stage a coup to take Brittany down. And then Schwartz, that little coward, he sits there and he's like, right on. And then in his confessional, he's like, listen, I don't think Brittany would ever hurt a fly. I don't think she's capable of doing what, they're saying. But hey, if they want to hate her, fine. Who am I to stop
It
them?
was
It was insane.
it was the dumbest thing I have ever seen in my life. And I was just like, and then Jesse being like, or not Jesse, Danny being like, oh, I'm not gonna drink. Can I get a Jameson and ginger ale?
I just also to
You
deviate from
fucking drunk.
from three poor men to another poor man, Zack. Zack is living proof that just because you're on TV does not mean that you have money. This man's apartment looked like what I've seen when people live across the street from the local junior college.
Sheree.
He was
It was
sobbing because his ex-roommate took the monster refrigerator.
it was like I could spend 45 minutes on this segment alone because first off, he calls crying. I'm thinking he's just so emotional that his roommate is moving out, Benji's moving in. Like when I moved out by myself, I was depressed for like 6 months. Like I cried. I just wasn't used to being by myself. No, 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 no. Zack was not crying because of the change. Zack was crying because his monster fridge was now gone, his drink fridge. And then, okay, I could swish that around my mouth and be okay with it. You invite me to your home. We are all what 35 plus. There is no couch. There's folding chairs. There's red cups. There's no wine opener. So now I can't drink wine. What the fuck? There's no nosh. What the fuck am I doing here? Lala was right. She's like, I feel like I'm at an AA meeting. This is real comfortable. What the fuck?
They had what killed me was Lacey going by all the food and being like, no, no, no.
What I was
Uh,
when I had my housewarming, I made queso dip, I had tacos, I had margaritas, I had wine, I had beer. Like you name it, I had it. And you know what I had most importantly? A couch. And not
well,
only did I have dining room chairs, I had a table.
I thought, and call me a crazy lady, but I thought the entire point of a housewarming was you move into your place, you get the house together, you make it warm, you make it inviting, and then you have your
Motherfucker
closest
was
and your
cold.
mostest over, and you say, welcome to my home. You make them comfortable. You pour them a beverage. Shout out to Candace.
I gave you a beverage. That's all he had
Okay.
was beverages. And not even wine. This woman bought a nice bottle of red and she couldn't even drink it.
And not even talking shit, right? I mean, he gives a speech and he tells Kristen
So
basically,
I missed the speech.
oh, okay. Well, I mean, there wasn't much. Well, I mean, so he tells Kristen, thank you for being a friend. And he tells her that, basically he tells us that there's been some times where he's been really hard on his luck and he's not been able to make rent and he's not been able to pay for some like bare necessities in life. And that outside of Kristen and his parents, he doesn't have a ton of support and she has really shown up for him not only as a friend but financially a few times. And she's in that moment she starts trying to stop him. She's like, "No, no, no, you don't need to pay me back. You've already paid me back." And he then in that moment like cash apped her a 2000, I think he said $2,000 repayment for a loan she had given him. And she in her confessional
Aw.
says,
Kristen
"I
really
know
is a ride or
that."
die.
Yeah, that's the thing. And I was listening to Ryan Bailey today, and it's like, say what you want about Kristen, but she really does have a good heart. He said, Ryan Bailey is a podcaster and he's pretty popular and he just had a baby. And he said that Kristen sent his girlfriend a bunch of like baby swag that she just never used. And it was like a lot of good stuff. And that when they first had their baby, she was like reaching out to his girlfriend and just being really helpful. And I think that speaks volumes to like the heart Kristen has. I know that she has
It's
a
because
rough
she's from,
exterior.
yeah, I think it's because she's from the Midwest. So she's naturally a nice person. Kristen is just crazy, but she's not. I don't think Kristen is inherently a bad person. I think she does questionable things. But I think Kristen's biggest problem is she's too loyal. So when she's loyal, she might do something that is not right because she's trying to be a loyal friend. And that always gets her into these very precarious situations.
I don't know
Think.
if it's that she's necessarily loyal or if it's that Kristen just doesn't know how to like. I think some people try too hard to be the hard one. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like she just needs to unleash her crazy side a little bit. I
I
mean,
feel
not
like
unleash
she
it.
just goes, she's like a dog with a bone. When she is like, I'm gonna ride for my friend, she can't let it go. And it's like, Kristen, let it go. You look insane.
Sorry, I was trying to figure out why the light turned off on my mic. Anyways,
Sometimes
um,
you probably touch the light or something, the light button.
I don't even know where that is.
It's
Anyway,
at the top where the buttons are.
oh, you're right. This thing gives me all kinds of trouble. Anyway, I'll mention that later. Um, so yeah, that was the gist of his speech though, was, thank you for being a friend. He's trying to get back on his feet. I think being on TV definitely, helps with that. What else did we get? That was pretty much the meat and potatoes of that
Oh,
episode.
wait. Mia making Danny wear the baby, and you could tell he was pissed.
Oh yeah, they
He's
had a
so
date night.
dark. Date night.
Yeah, they had a date night.
He's
It was
so dark. He was so mad, but okay, I hate to agree with a man, especially Danny, but I find spit up way nastier than poop. I
Um,
hate baby spit up. It's so warm, so chunky.
as a
It's
nurse,
so gross.
I'm
It's
always
so
gonna say
thick.
poop is worse than vomit as a nurse. And honestly, if you want me to get like, if we're talking about babies, honestly, to me, they're on the same field. But if we're talking about like regular adults, it's phlegm is always gonna be the winner for me.
Oh no, I'm only talking about babies
Oh yeah, with babies,
because
yeah.
baby throw up I can't do. It skeeves me out. Adult throw up, I don't know what it is about baby spit up. It grosses me out.
Well, I think that's a good place to end this episode. That was pretty much the meat and potatoes of the valley. We'll catch you next week
Yeah.
with that one.
Bye.
Bye.